Hello and welcome back for the midterm review for winter 23. This is problem number 5. We have a data set here. The following table represents all the nuclear reactors in the world as of December 31st, 2007. So you can either do a list in Desmos, or I put mine in a table form just because it was easier at the time. These are the items that we're going to want to find out to learn about this data set. It is all of the nuclear reactors. So that's something to remember, that we have population data. And we want to learn about the mean, standard deviation, variance, things that come from the stats, the IQR, the lower and upper fence. We also want to know, is this qualitative, quantitative, discrete, or quantitative continuous? And it's quantitative discrete because you can't have part of a reactor. We're to decide on the shape, we need to know the mean and median, and then that will help us decide what outliers we might have, and then we'll use the box plot to support our arguments. So let's go ahead to Desmos and see what all we can learn about our data. So here it is. First thing I found was the mean, which is 14.161. It says 3 decimal places. And then after the mean, I'm going to do STDEVP because we do have population data. That's our standard deviation. So that's sigma, which is 21.608. And the variance, we're going to have to take the 21.608 and square that. That gives us our variance. And I'm just going to make a note in here for that variance below. So our variance is the standard deviation squared. That's sigma squared is 466.906. I'll show my paper once we get some of these things jotted down. Then stats is really nice because it gives us the 5-number summary. So we have the min as 1. The Q1 is our first quartile is 2. The median is our second quartile. That is 6. The third quartile is 17. The max is 104. Okay. And let's go back to our paper just for a moment so we can kind of make sure we've got everything the same here. The range, make sure you mark too, we have mu and sigma squared, these symbols, because we have population data. And our range is the max minus the min. And so that's 104 minus 1 is 103. It seems pretty spread out. The IQR is the Q3 minus Q1, which is 17 minus 2, which is 15. The lower fence is Q1 minus 1.5 times the IQR, which is going to be 2 minus 1.5 times 15. So 2 minus 1.5 times 15, and we get a negative 20.5. Now we know we can't have negative reactors, but it's still the calculation. Then the upper fence is Q3, don't forget that. And then you're adding 1.5 times the IQR. And so the Q3 here is 17 plus 1.5 times the IQR of 15 is 17 plus 1.5 times 15, and that's 39.5. Okay. Now it says describe the shape of the distribution. So whenever I want you to describe the shape, some of you on your project, you still weren't there in your understanding. I want you to compare the mean on the left to the median on the right. And the mean is 14.161 and the median is 6. So because the mean is quite a bit bigger than the median, it's definitely going to be skewed right. That also tells us that we're going to use the median as our center because it's skewed. So we will use the lower and upper fence to look for our outliers. And so, like I said, we wouldn't have negative reactors, but we could have more than 39.5. And so, yes, there are definitely outliers. Let's go ahead and circle all the ones that are bigger than 39.5. We have France, Japan, the US are all bigger than 39.5. So France at 59, Japan at 55, and the US at 104. Now, I do want to remind you, this is 2007. I did look at this data more recently, and these numbers have definitely changed. So this would be a great example of what we did on chapter 2 project, but also something that you might be asked to kind of look over and gather information about a data set for the midterm. Catch me back for some more midterm review problems.